the one and only podcast by a blind wrestling fan.
Wrestling in the dark!
Hey up guys, welcome to another episode of WITD, where once again it's time to talk about NXT. This time it's the go home show for Takeover Portland, which of course was a crazy stacked show. It begins with the crowd nice and hot. Roderick Strong comes out to cut a promo because he's not a happy man due to what Velveteen Dream did last week. He says that it's not about the Undisputed Era, it's not even about the North American Championship, it's personal, it's between him and Dream, and it's because Dream put Roddy's family on his quote stupid gear. He says that he's going to hurt Dream, he's going to do something that he won't regret, and he demands an apology. It's not an apology that he gets though, it's Bronson Reed, and Bronson's like, Velveteen Dream ain't the only one you got a problem with, and you and me are gonna fight right now. The bell rings and Bronson gets on top straight away. He gets headbutts, he starts stomping Strong, he delivers an elbow drop, and Strong starts firing back. He hits vicious chops, but that doesn't even faze the Australian Strong style expert, who delivers a side slam. The heart of the NXT commentary team, Beth Phoenix, does what she does best. She draws parallels with stuff that's going on with her and says that when someone messes with your family and brings them into it, it makes it personal and it awakens a side of you that you didn't even know that you had. Bronson tries to give Strong a taste of his medicine. He tries to take out the midsection and back, so he gives him a strong whip into the turnbuckles, delivers an axe handle to the back. He gets a body lock which Strong fights out of, only to get smashed in the face with an elbow. Then Bronson Reed gets a delayed brain buster. He gets a fireman's carry and he snaps Roddy's neck off the ropes before getting the King Kong lariat, which just is such a good visual way of describing the lariat, because it's obvious that Bronson Reed has just got big, thick forearms, so it's just a really good name that helps you visualise the move. Then he gets a power slam and senton combo. He goes up for the frog splash, but Roddy's got him scouted. Roddy goes, delivers a step up enziguri and manages to get a big superplex. He can't go for the cover straight away though, because of the effect that it's had on both of them, so after going for the cover, Bronson gets out at 2. This is when the Dream teases that he's going to come out. There's a quick sound playing over the speakers, and then Roddy gets distracted, but not enough, because as Bronson tries to nail him, Roddy just blasts him with the knee and picks up the win. Dream appears on screen, and it's amazing how just a few short months away can make you forget how good someone is. Dream's charisma in his promo just bleeds through, and there's this low-lying intensity because of how mad he is at Roderick Strong, and I just thought that was great. He asks Roddy, do you remember when you first met your wife? The crowd has this massive reaction to this. He says that he remembers Undisputed Era throwing him off a trailer, clearly trying to break his back, take his career. He asks Roddy, what if someone took something from you? You might have lost the North American Championship, but you still got a family. You've got a wife, you've got a son, and he throws the hello Troy out there, saying hello to Roddy's kid, which just, it instantly makes it even more personal. I think when you bring someone's wife, that's bad, but then when you bring the kid into it, I guess he'd already done that, but still, just the hello Troy sort of thing was like, ooh. He says that, what if something happened to Roddy? What would happen to his family? And he tells him that it wouldn't matter, because if something happened to Roddy, then someone, somewhere, would fulfill all of Marina's dreams. And the crowd again has this huge reaction to it, and that's where it sort of leaves off. And I just thought this was a cracking opening to the show. Strong's really passionate promo where he puts over his anger was really great. Just a quick, hard-hitting match with Bronson Reed. Every strike that Roddy hit sounded so powerful, and he really put over how mad he is at Dream. And then this little reintroduction promo from Dream was really, really great. After that, it's the greatest idea that I've ever seen for a wrestling stoner film ever. It's Pete and Matt take a road trip, which was a recurring little vignette that we had throughout the night. This one, they're on the way down the road in the golf cart. Pete's driving. Riddle just shouts at him for driving on the wrong side of the road, so tells him that it's not jolly old London. Pete's like, I'm not even from London. Next thing you know, the police are pulling them over. Riddle's like, just let me do the talking. Cut to the golf cart being taken away. Pete's like, I'm never letting you do the driving again. It's revealed that neither of them has a driver's license, and now they've got to figure out how to get to Portland without the golf cart and still with Dusty. Just brilliant. I just really love this type of humour. I was literally fantasy booking something the other day where these two get pulled over by the cops. Not going to let you in on that because I think that it might end up on the channel at some point, but I couldn't believe it when they did it in this skit, because I was like, I was literally fantasy booking that. It's just such a great recurring vignette. Next up, Angel Garza gets asked about facing Lio Rush for the number one contendership to the NXT Cruiserweight Championship, and I love it every single time Angel Garza gets on the mic. Each time it happens, we get a bit more of a glimpse into what he's like as a character, and I love his cool, arrogant bravado. He's cocky, but not in the same way that the Undisputed Era are. If Undisputed Era are the street toughs that are going to get annoyed that you missed a payment and come and find you and beat you up, then Angel Garza is the guy that's going to hear about you taking a hit out on him, and when you go, he's going to be there waiting in the dark, and when you turn the lights on, he's going to be sat in the armchair with the gun pointing at you. It's just the way he seems. He's got this like cool hitman vibe about him, and I really like it. He's like, did you see me lose this championship? Did you see Swerve make me tap or pin me? Nah, he did it to Swerve. I've beat Lio Rush once, I beat him twice, I'll do it again. And Lio appears. He's like, I'm not the same guy that I was. The guy that you took the championship off is not the same guy I am now. I'm hungrier, I'm faster, and I'm stronger. And whether you like it or not, I'm going to take the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. And it's like, man, I really liked Lio Rush for just a couple of weeks, but I'm not a massive fan of him. And I think just because I'm becoming a bit of a mark for Angel Garza, I was like, shut up, Lio, get out of here. Candice LeRae takes on Dakota Kai next, and I really like that Candice has been floating around the fringes of this Tegan Nox Dakota Kai feud. It makes Candice seem like she really cares about Tegan, like she really hates Dakota for what she's done. It almost seems as if Candice wants revenge as bad as Tegan, and for me that makes Candice really relatable, because most people, especially someone who knows how to fight, when their best friend got beat up, they'd want payback, they'd go after that person, and I just think that makes for a super relatable character. This match was short, but it was fun. DK started off really hot, but Candice just nailed her with a kick to the head. She wiped her out with a tope, like 3 more topes after that, and then a missile drop kick for the cover. Dakota Kai fires back up. She hits a palm strike to the eye, one to the bridge of the nose. She starts laying in vicious kicks. She tries to superplex Candice to the outside, and commentary play up the fact that with Dakota, these days, it's not about just winning the matches, it's about injuring her opponent, it's about taking them out of the competition, making them pay. And I just think that that was a really cool spot for them to talk about that story beat over. At this point, Candice's nose is bleeding. She tries to fire back up, but DK just sends her into the turnbuckles. After a commercial break, Candice hits a diving, swinging net breaker. She gets a high-angle German suplex, locks in the Gargano escape, but Nigel talks about the fact that she can't get the full extension, and this leads to Dakota Kai rolling her up and getting the win. Just because she lost, though, that doesn't mean that Candice is done. She is going after Dakota Kai. She wants to carry on the fight, but Dakota ends up just nailing her with the ring bell. This brings out Nox. Them two start brawling. Security break them apart. Tegan gets free, starts going back after Dakota Kai. The crowd are chanting let them fight, but eventually they get split up, and I was like, silly crowd, if they let them fight, what's going to happen at TakeOver Portland? Honestly though, I'm really excited for this match. I can't wait for Tegan versus DK. I think that it could easily steal the show if they do it right. They could tell some really cool stories with it, and I'm guessing there's going to be at least one brutal spot, because at the end of the day they've played this up as Tegan and Dakota really want to just injure each other. They want to put each other on the shelf, and I just think that makes for a really heated rivalry. So yeah, this match was short and punchy and fun, and the post-match brawl was entertaining, and I just can't wait for Portland! Straight from a Candice match into a Johnny one, because next up is Johnny Gargano versus Cameron Grimes, which was a fast match that was hard to keep up with, but still somehow kind of fun. It was just wrestling in the early moments, with Cameron Grimes going for a waistlock takedown, a snapmare into a chinlock, Gargano looking for some sort of submission. Morrow calls this building sequence that goes to the Gargano escape really well. I couldn't keep up with it for the notes, but he did a great job. He also did a great job with another crazy sequence that came not long afterwards, where Johnny gets a Rana, gets a dropkick, Grimes just doesn't go down. He hits another move, but Grimes lands on his feet. So Gargano just does a leapfrog and boots him in the face with the sole of his foot before hitting a rolling cannonball, which Nigel calls a tumbleweed senton. Grimes manages to get a bridging high-angle German suplex, but Gargano kicks out of that. Not long afterwards, Gargano gets some sort of counter that the commentary don't call, just saying that it nearly turned Cameron's lights out, but I didn't really care, because shortly after that Gargano gets a lariat and a slingshot spear anyway, so I was like, okay, fine. Grimes gets a collision course, whatever that is, but Gargano kicks out of that as well, and then in the finish of the match, they super kick each other. Gargano gets a DDT, Grimes fires back with a big kick, but he gets locked in the Gargano escape, and he just taps instantly, which raises one important question for me. Is Dakota Kai tougher than Cameron Grimes is, or does Johnny just do the Gargano escape better than Candice? There's one of two options there, because Dakota was in for quite a while when Candice had it locked in on her. I guess, granted, Nigel put over the fact that she couldn't get the full extension, the full leverage on it, so maybe that's why, but it just made me laugh. I was like, Dakota just confirmed tougher than Cameron Grimes now then. We get a short promo from Adam Cole, who tells Roddy not to worry about Velveteen Dream because they'll sort him out. He says that he's going to teach Kushida a lesson, he's going to teach Ciampa a lesson. He's sick of hearing the same old song and dance about getting his life back and never losing. He says that being the greatest NXT champion of all time is his life, and he'll do anything to keep the NXT championship, and then tells the interviewer to get the hell out. Then we get part 2 of Pete and Matt take a road trip. This again was just brilliant, loved it. Pete's like, so this was your brilliant plan B, we're going to try to get to Portland on a boat? And Matt tells him he's a silly goose and that this is just where he goes to chill out, so they're just sitting on a boat. And that just makes me laugh, because I can't imagine Pete as a stoner, which means that he's just that he's the friend that has a stoner friend that doesn't mind it, but then he just has to sit there and wait. And he's like, I want to get to Portland, and Riddle's just sitting there on a boat thinking about how to get there, probably having a joint, and it just really makes me laugh. I think that these two together work so well, with Pete with his sort of deadpan and silly Matt. It's just, it just works perfectly, and this little concept of them taking a road trip was brilliant. An even shorter promo than Adam Cole's, we get Robert Stone talking about the fact that he's going to have a relaunch, a restart of the Robert Stone brand, and Chelsea Green says that it's going to be a showcase for NXT's most captivating superstar. And I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever, go away. There's way better things going on than this. I just don't get the whole Robert Stone brand thing. Hopefully they get a chance to expand on it a little bit more, but for now, it's just one of those things that's sort of there. Angel Garza takes on Lio Rush next for number 1 contendership to the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. I just love these Cruiserweight matches. I've enjoyed every single one since they've rolled them into the NXT universe, and I just can't wait for the inevitable day where the Cruiserweight match just steals the show at a takeover. And I just think that they've done a great job with it, and this match was no exception to that. It was fun, and it was fast, and it was back and forth, and I just really enjoyed it. Garza rips off his trousers straight away. I'm still not sure about that spot, but I do like the showboaty attitude that he has, so I don't mind it too much. They go back and forth. Lio tries for the come up but gets countered with a drop kick. Garza gets Lio in the Tree of Woe and then nails him with a nasty kick. He sends Lio to the outside. Lio lands on his feet. Garza meets him out there, just slings him into the ring post, into the steel stairs, and then he just stomps in between the shoulder blades. Lio manages to get a corkscrew sent on. They start striking at each other. Lio goes for the come up again. Garza manages to get a double underhook facebuster. They go up top. Garza's looking for an avalanche wing clipper. Lio just headbutts him desperately to stop that and manages to get an avalanche crusher to the outside. It hits the final hour. Commentary play up the fact that that's going to have had a bad effect on both of them, and it's going to have had a bad effect on Lio Rush's ribs. Back on the inside, Garza gets a double knees. He gets a nasty sounding super kick, but as he's trying for the wing clipper, Lio rolls him up and gets the win and becomes the number 1 contender. I was like, what? I don't know about you guys, but I thought for sure that this was just going to be straightforward. Garza picks up a win, he goes on to Takeover, and him and Devlin have a great match. I was really surprised by it, I'm not gonna lie. Devlin comes out post-match and he basically tells Lio to watch out. Congratulations, he says, you're the next stop on the Jordan Devlin NXT Cruiserweight Championship tour, but he's gonna roll right through him and prove that you never bet against the ace. I just felt a little bit sorry for Garza here. I know that it's in the rules that if you're in a Fatal 4-Way you can lose the championship without losing, but I just thought that he was going to get his chance again, and now Leo's just come in and just taking it away. I know that Garza's supposed to be the heel, but maybe just because I'm a bit of a bigger mark for him than I am for Lio, I was just like, Lio, for God's sake, just get out of here. In case you hadn't clocked onto the fact that Dominik Dijakovic versus Keith Lee was going to be an absolutely great match, we get a video package hyping it up with Mark Henry talking about the fact that these two guys are redefining what big men can do. He says that Keith Lee moves like a guy that's 205 pounds. He says that he's a moment maker, and if you don't believe him, go and watch Survivor Series, the Royal Rumble. He says that Dijakovic can walk the ropes like the Undertaker and then do a backflip off him like Rey Mysterio, and I just thought, man, here you have Mark Henry, possibly the best big guy that they've ever had, definitely one of the best big guys that I've ever seen in WWE since the short time that I've been watching, and you've just got him hyping up these two guys and saying that they're like Hall of Famers. It's just a really effective way, and I, again, can't wait for DD and Keith Lee because I think it's going to be fantastic. Bianca Belair takes on Santana Garrett next, and I really like any time Santana Garrett comes out because we get to listen to her theme music, which is this Saints Row 4-esque dubsteppy type stuff that I always have a little dance to because I just find it really fun. Fun times for me, but not for Santana, because this was a bad situation for her. Bianca Belair just rolled through her like an 18-wheeler going through a fence. Honestly, it was just really fast. Bianca went after her hard in the early moments. She teased a glam slam and then she got a KOD, and that was just the whole thing. She jumps on the mic. She says that Rhea keeps going off to Raw looking for Charlotte, acting like Bianca's not even there. Bianca's like, hello? I'm right here. Am I invisible? And it actually did make me laugh. The way that she said it I just found it really funny, and that's probably one of the first time that Bianca's ever said anything that makes me laugh, because I'm not really a massive fan of her mic skills. She says at Takeover Portland she's going to walk out the women's champion because Rhea's been overlooking her. Rhea comes out and she says, I haven't been overlooking you, I'm looking right at you, and I can tell you at Portland I'm going to run right through you. They start fighting. Rhea doles out her right hand, and then Bianca is one of those people that when you give them a present they have to give you an even bigger present back, so she gives Rhea a KOD, and that's the end of that. Bianca's losing then, right? Because going from wrestling mass, she stood tall, so Rhea is probably going to be the one to pick up the win, but we will wait and see what Charlotte does and how it all plays out at TakeOver. I liked this segment though. They've done a really good job of turning me around on Bianca Belair, because I really wasn't a fan before Survivor Series, and whilst I'm not a massive fan of her mic skills, I do appreciate how she is in the ring and how her character is progressing, so yeah, I like this segment. We get part 3 of Pete and Matt take a road trip, and this time they're loading up into a plane, and Matt Riddle keeps saying, let's get this in the boot, which is annoying Pete, because Matt's saying it in a stupid mock English voice, and they start loading up into the plane. Riddle says that he knows a guy and they're going to fly private style all the way to Portland, and in the end Pete's like, whose plane even is this? And it just made me laugh. I don't think I can say any more than I've already said. These two in a buddy stoner comedy type vignette, it just works really well for me, and I could have these for the next couple of weeks of just different situations that they get into. They're becoming one of my favourite teams, full stop. Doesn't matter whether it's NXT, AEW, any of the other things, I just love these two. I think they've got a great chemistry, and as much as I love Undisputed Era, I do think that I really want Pete and Matt to win, because those two as tag team champions could go really well. We get another intense Tommaso Ciampa promo where he talks about the fact that almost a year ago to the day he had to give up the NXT Championship. He promised his peers that he'd be bigger, faster and stronger than ever when he came back, but really he was just scared of what would happen if he never made it back to the title. What would happen if he never even got in the ring again? What if he'd just given away his biggest chance with all eyes on him, and now that chance was gone? He says that they've come full circle, 4 days away from Ciampa versus Cole. He says, what if Cole wins? What if he goes on to become the longest reigning NXT champion? But what if he doesn't? What if there's one man that wants it so much more, that's been through so much more? What if Ciampa wins, and then TakeOver Tampa, WrestleMania weekend, all eyes will be on him? He says that a man is at his most dangerous when he's got nothing to lose, and when Cole looks in his eyes, he's going to see that that's completely true. Now, I love all this Goldie is my life stuff, but saying that you've got nothing to lose is a little bit of an overstatement, just because you have a family, you have a daughter, so you do have stuff to lose, but at the same time, it's such an intense promo. I love Ciampa when he jumps on the mic, and it was just a great building intensity throughout the promo, so it was just great work from Ciampa. Our main event is Adam Cole taking on Kushida, who wants payback for being beaten up last week. I love that the Undisputed Era just keep gaining enemies. They just make enemies out of people. It's what happened with Velveteen Dream, it's what happened with Matt Riddle, now Kushida's against them, and they just keep rolling on and gathering new enemies, and I just really like that Kush got this chance to be in the main event fighting the NXT champion, because it really elevated him, especially with the amount of offense that he got in. In the early moments he managed to hit a drop kick through the ropes. He goes for an armbar on the outside just to prove to the champ that he can lock it in whenever he wants. He goes for a series of elbows, gets a handspring back elbow, a handspring double heel kick, a diving DDT that goes straight into a cross arm breaker, but Adam Cole knows where he is and gets his toe on the ropes. Cole starts fighting back after that, manages to get a shining wizard to stop Kush getting in the hoverboard lock. He gets a bicycle knee strike and an Ushigoroshi, and Morrow references his time in Japan as leader of the club. Then Kush manages to avoid the last shot, gets hit with a super kick but kicks out. He scouts the Panama Sunrise and gets the hoverboard lock. Cole scrambles for the ropes but gets pulled back into the middle, and then in the closing moments of the match, Kushida gets a Pele kick, starts laying in those Kawada kicks, but eventually Cole manages to counter with a kick of his own and then get the last shot to pick up the win. Like I said, I just thought that this made Kush look really good. I didn't write down everything because I'm really trying to prioritise what I put in my notes, because I'm terrible for just going for the minutiae, but I just thought that this was a really fun main event match, and if this ends up being the last TV match that we get with Adam Cole as NXT champion, then that is a fitting way to go out, with having somewhat like pick up a win and having a really good match against one of his latest enemies that he's picked up. Post match, Ciampa comes out, him and Cole have a stare down, talk trash to each other, and the last thing you hear is, "I'm going to take that championship," and Cole shouts, "Over my dead body," and then they just cut, and I'm like, what an ominous way to leave that. Like, if this ends up being the last time that Cole's on NXT TV as the NXT champion, what an ominous line to leave it on, "over my dead body." And that could easily be, metaphorically be, what happens at Takeover, is just Cole is just lying there brutalised after Ciampa's just whooped his ass for however long the match goes. So I just thought it was a really, really effective main event scene that capped off what was a really entertaining episode of NXT. As for predictions for Takeover Portland, here is my winners row. We've got Dakota Kai, Rhea Ripley, Finn Balor, the Broserweights, Keith Lee and Tommaso Ciampa. If you've got anything to say about this episode of NXT, you can tweet me on Twitter at Mason_WITD, or you know where the comments section is. Feel free to leave your winners row in the comments, and if you've enjoyed this episode, make sure you like and subscribe. Come back for more Wrestling in the Dark. Big shout out for Raw Observer, because he made me the lovely theme that's been playing underneath this video, so thanks a lot to him.
My pleasure, mate. I am Rob Observer.
For now, I'm off, and you should have a good one.
Wrestling, 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 wrestling!